Ladies and gentlemen, that's who we love and that's who we serve. Welcome to the Intervision Universe. Top of the morning, top of the afternoon, top of the evening, top of the time zone. It's 9 a.m. somewhere in the world, or maybe a little bit after. Today, we're going to be talking about a few things. Sure, everybody's a dreamer. Who covered on Obamacare? Obamacare 2.0 is a newcomer coming into the United States in droves. Around 5 million now after the last 2 years of Biden's third term here in podcast. Don't forget to stay tuned to the end. We got some promotions. IntervisionFM.com. I'm Alan C. Got Johnny J in the house, president and station manager.
Running now? Hi, everybody. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown. I tell you, this business is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown saying stay with it and hit it. Okay, thank
you. All right. Mr. James Brown in the house. Thank you very much for your announcing the shows. Always get out from the grave or heaven or wherever he's at, and always on time to announce the show.
Hardest working head man in show business, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
How you doing, Johnny?
I'm doing very well, man. Let me see, where am I at? I need to unshare the screen here. I think I'm going to unshare the screen. Okay, it's now been stopped, or screen share. Yeah, it's a fantastic day. Hey, we got some for you guys that love mobbing or karaoke. We're going to combine those two, and we'll tell you more about that later on in the show. We're going to. And I was up at 2-3 o'clock this morning doing quiet karaoke, so I wouldn't wake up everybody in the house. Oh man! Then I finally fell asleep for a couple of hours, and then I said I enjoyed that. So anyway,
well, I've never mobbed before. I don't know whether I can sing very well. So this ought to be fun, folks.
Yeah, but you got your guitar though. So you got something.
I guitar.
Yeah, so you can make up something or do one of your originals or a lot of things. So because I was thinking as my guitar, I have this back rubber. It's shaped like a cane with the curve with the balls in the end. So that's my and I'm thinking I should invest. I used to have 6 guitars, and then I just started giving them away or selling them and stuff like that. And then now I'm down to the 0, and I'm thinking if I get this big grant, I think I'm gonna splurge.
Yeah.
There's a $500 guitar that that's either purple or the one I had before, a Stratocaster with the brown neck. The white little cover in the front, and then the rest of it was like a cherry red.
Nom. Nothing better than a good Stratocaster.
Oh yeah. So anyway, as you get older, you say, "Oh, what can I do to have fun?"
Ladies and gentlemen, we promote grassroots musicians here, whether they're physically disabled or financially challenged. PayPal.me/Intervision Denver is the best way that you can help us to keep the lights on. Our sponsors are Christian Brothers Moving Company, based in Englewood, Colorado, Phoenix, Arizona, also in Texas. And if you find yourself in a situation where you need to move throughout the nation to maybe find some cheaper digs, cheaper places to live. Why, these folks can help you out. They're family owned, family run. Don't forget about Eeny Meeny Grants, Colorado Art Relief Fund. These folks help us to promote the grassroots musicians, whether they're physically disabled or financially challenged. Folks, you are in on the ground floor opportunity. If you're listening to us on intervisionfm.com, on YouTube, Facebook, Getter, Truth Social, Rumble, and about 5 other platforms I can't think of right now. Why, if you're listening to us there, you are in on a ground floor opportunity. Oftentimes we'll talk about grassroots musicians. We'll talk about their promotion. Got spring and summer concerts. Hit us up at intervisionrecords.org. That's www.intervisionrecords.org. And you can stay abreast of all of the different, what do you call them? Events,
activities, Zoom parties,
it's
interviews, all that kind of stuff.
You guys are going to love it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, set that bad boy to all so that next time we go live, you won't miss a upcoming broadcast.
Oh, yes. And today we have 3 topics. We have because of Biden inflation, we have like 68 of our young people living with their parents because they can't afford to either rent an apartment. Because right now, the average cost down here is $2,500 for a 2-bedroom apartment. Maybe you can get one for $1,600 in Denver now. And so you'll be better off to buy a house. But our governor is about to sign a bill that says that the state will regulate rent control. The state will take money from your taxes and supplement rent for the homeless.
What do you guys think about that? Don't forget to leave a comment down below. Yeah. Like, share, and subscribe. Folks, look, we're paying $2,500 per month for an apartment. I mean, what world is this that we can even continue to do that? When I do the math and I look at having to come up with 3 times the rent to be able to qualify, to be able to even stay in that place, I have to make $37, $40, $45 an hour just to be able to get in there. Now, the blind community are kind of in a different place. We can apparently avail ourselves of housing and all kinds of neat government assistance programs. Now, here's my problem. I tried to stay out of those. I tried to not run afoul of any of those. And I tried to do everything the right way. And I tried to work. I tried to do, what was necessary to be a productive member of society. And I will tell you, Johnny, I'm not in a house. I'm 52. I'm going homeless here come July. And that's just the way it's going to be. Unless somehow a $40 an hour job just lands in my lap, there's no way to move. There's no way to do any of this. Now, I'll be okay, folks. I've got God on my side who, if God's on your side, any weapon formed against you will never prosper. But even so, I mean, I look at this logically, Johnny. How can I do this?
If you heard that thing called a ticket to work?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just called me recently, and I'm thinking like, okay, like, that might be an option. But what we're trying to do here at Intervision, we're hitting it on like grant writing on steroids. and I've it's just like it's the weirdest thing. I don't know why this didn't hit me 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I mean, it sort of hit me like in 2001, and because I had the help of Ira, we were really ramping up grant writing and stuff like that, and that was a fantastic year. And then Ira started charging this crazy money, $50 for 25 minutes. So I
Yeah.
mean, you're in a fixed income or something like that, and I used to have this job at the AARP. You don't have that kind of income. It's very difficult to just throw out $50. You have to think: do I eat? Do I pay rent? Do
That's right.
I do these other things, or do I pay IRA so I can write this grant that won't get here for maybe 2 or 3 months?
Right.
Right. So now it's becoming tighter. But during the pandemic, they had a grant and they were paying their workers, but now they gotta, pay their workers through us.
Yeah.
Right. And I was that man, that was a game changer when you're blind and you can have someone help you go through websites that are not
Oh
as
man.
accessible. That's a
Uh,
game changer. So
absolutely.
now I'm just grabbing in volunteer. And, I'm finding a lot of volunteers from Africa, and I'm not
Yes.
sure why why volunteering in America is so attractive to these guys there.
Hmm.
We had this one which I'm kind of suspicious of. I got to ask you what you think. Uh, it's one that I had my wife look at it, and she says, "Well, the camera's on, the audio's on, but we can't hear the person. But they have a picture of a coffee cup." And I'm thinking, is this a guy pretending to be? And the name is Memory, right?
Yeah.
I've never heard of an African name called Memory.
I think you're telling me about this.
Yeah, and so okay, so we're trying to get enough people to help with this with our visual impairment, and then we got people that say, well, and they don't know. I've been on this horse for a little while. They said, well, you need many volunteers, and I said, listen, all I need you to do is copy and paste and stop telling me what I need to do, because I've been on this horse before and I know what you need to do. So we got those. We got those people,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but it's like I can see how these kids are not having a hard time because and a lot of these young people, not all of them, not all, but some of them, may be a little bit lazy. They have sight, and with
Yeah.
sight, you could have 2 or 3 jobs. And I know it'll be difficult,
Yeah, that is the case.
but it'll keep you out of trouble, and it will get you where you need before you have kids and whatever. And if you haven't made that step off and had children, like President Johnson wants you to have outside of marriage, have children when you're a teenager. If you haven't stepped into that bull crap, then you have some options.
That's right, folks. We're looking at some really sobering statistics. It looks like somewhere between 68 and 70% of Zoomers, Generation Z folks, the folks that are teenagers yet, they are finding it so difficult to get out there and live on their own that they're being forced to move back home. Now, this has kind of been a trend for the last maybe 10 years, 15 years. But now we've gotten to a place where people just can't make it alone. They cannot purchase, for rent, even a 1-bedroom apartment and be able to make it.
Yeah.
All while our newcomer friends do seem to be getting a
A lot
little
of
treatment, a little bit better treatment. They've got 5-star hotels in some states. They're getting federalized health care. So the very thing that they've been working on for years for the American people, they're just going to give to those who are less fortunate and find themselves here in our country, either by, what do you call that? Either by seeking asylum or jumping the law and just going ahead and coming on over.
That leads us into the next step. I'm going to skip over number 2 and go to that one because you just said it. Thursday, April 13th, we were kept very quiet because I didn't hear a lot about this in the news. But Biden, he opened Medicaid to what is known as dreamers. Now, these are children that it wasn't their fault, but their parents
Yeah.
who decided to do something illegal. They entered into America, had what is called a anchor baby in America.
Mhm.
And so that the child is somewhat kind of a natural born citizen, but kind of like on the edge of that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so Biden, and this is something just Obama did, was started this, and Republicans didn't oppose it and whatever. And then Biden is continuing with this. These dreamers, they says, well, you dreamers should be able to get the same benefits as the legal, nationally born Americans who did it, and the ones who did it legally. We want to toss that out the window. Your parents, you're not going to pay for the sins of your parents. We're just going to give you free medical. Right? So now,
Because even American citizens don't have this.
yes. And we're going to give you a boost up. No, we're going to still have the Americans get this unaffordable Obamacare, but we're going to give you, at the cost of the taxpayers, free Medicare. You don't even have to apply for Obamacare because you're going to get it free. And those Democrats and interested parties, liberals, and Biden love to use that word free. And either because maybe these young people are retarded or they just don't want to know. Whenever the government says free, they're stealing it from one group of people to give it to another group of people.
That's right.
It's the Robin Hood effect.
That's absolutely right. Now, let's take the Social Security Administration as a prime example. This was designed to help folks with disabilities or that are older have a living wage. The Social Security Administration is designed to be paid into by the 249 million current work age individuals and the additional individuals who then receive Social Security benefits are, some would say, entitled to these things. Unfortunately, boy, if you don't toe the line, if you don't pay your dues, so to speak, if you don't report every single scrap of income, you're going to be dinged and you're going to be receiving letters from the IRS or Social Security potentially that will tell you how much you owe them. Now, I guarantee you this. This is not something that we enjoy as American citizens, but what about our newcomer friends? Do they get these letters? No, instead, they get placed onto healthcare at our dime, at our expense.
Yeah. And I can say, like, it used to be that churches would do this.
Yeah.
And I remember this Star Trek episode when Captain Kirk, let's see, Dr. McCoy got this accidentally got the shot that made him delusional and thought that everybody was against him and stuff like that. And so he jumped into this time machine, went back, and then he disrupted something, and then everything that they had known was gone because he had changed something. Or what he had changed was, and you guys can wait. Sorry, I just had to tell you this story. What he had changed was this lady she was all for peace and everything like that, and she convinced us not to fight German and Hitler, and therefore Germany took over, and so we all became a communist universe, and so therefore the starship and all that kind of advancement doesn't happen in a communist type of situation, and everything disappeared. So Spock and Kirk had to jump into the time machine and locate them and find out what he changed. And it was the point was that girl had to die, and what happened was she got ran over in a car accident and she died, and she wasn't able to change the future by saying, all we need is love, everybody now. Yeah. So anyway, so that man, I got so much into the Star Trek thing, I lost my track.
Well, the bottom line is that in the Star Trek episode, there was welfare that was brought up. There was
Church,
charity
yeah,
brought up.
churches were helping.
Churches. That's the thing. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Churches were helping.
Yes, and then now the government said, and this is how they entice churches. Now I got back on track. They say to the church, "Hey, you want to have a food bank? Well, you don't have that many members, right? That you don't have people paying, to help you keep the lights on, pay the rent, and you don't want to go like work full time, as a bus. Because one of the churches I know, the guy is a bus driver and he runs his church on the weekend. He pays the bills and all that kind of stuff. He said, "We got a great idea. We'll give you federal funding, and you have a food bank, and you can feed the homeless. You can help the paperwork for illegals that come in that we send to your office, and we'll do all this. But you cannot talk about God. Yes, we know you're a church, and you cannot discriminate. You cannot tell them that in the Bible it talks about dressing like a woman and a man is not kind of legal in the Bible. But you can't talk any of your religion. You could just feed them and help them fill out paperwork, and we'll give you money, and you can continue as a church with your 7 or 8 people that come to Sunday service."
Now, what about the feel-good message? What about the message of the gospel? Is any of that being preached, or is it just
no? It's the gospel of climate change, or the gospel of government agency, and we have to put down your address and your zip code, and who knows? Eventually, it might be. I say, well, you don't even have to do that. We just need to, pinch you and see if you're alive, and if you're alive and breathing, hey, come on in, and that's all we need is they're alive, they're breathing, so we gave them food. But no spiritual enlightenment, no praying for you, nothing, no Jesus, no God this, no that. Climate change and all that kind of stuff is okay. So the church has traded in their spiritualness for the world, for the money.
501c3 corporation only beholden to the federal government, and what kind of benefits can be achieved by the recipient of the 501c3 corporation? Folks, that's what makes Johnny different about what he's doing. Oh, sure. Yeah, it's a 501c3 nonprofit. Yeah, absolutely. We do car donations. Check us out at intervisionrecords.org for all the different stuff. But Johnny's been doing this in 1991, and he's always been about transparency. He's always been about helping the other individual before he gets his own. This is a real reason why I enjoy helping Intervision FM out in whatever capacity that I can. This is just a microcosm, folks, of the world. When you get the idea that, man, if you put others first before yourself, you're going to go a lot further than putting yourself first.
And you did another great transition. We're talking about transparency. Let's talk about when reporters withhold information, as in the fake news.
Let's do that.
Yeah, you're doing the transitions fantastic today, man. That's why they pay you.
That's why they pay me the big dollar.
Yeah. Now, there was an incident where this homeowner, the policemen, and they have this all on body cam and all that kind of stuff. They went to the door, and for some reason, the police got the wrong address. And it was a domestic violence incident and they went to the wrong address, and the police were banging at the door, and maybe the homeowner didn't hear him say, "Police, please open up." Maybe he just heard bang on the door. So he got his gun just in case there was trouble at the door.
Okay.
So when he went to the door, he had what the news told us, he went to the door and police innocently shot and killed the homeowner, the unarmed homeowner, because they left out that and I heard this reporting 1, 2, 3, 4 times until they opened it up and said the homeowner didn't hear them announce that they were police, and he brought his gun with him, and he raised his gun up, and when they saw the gun, that's when they shot him.
Wow.
Killed him. And his 17-year-old daughter was there, and she was calling 911, and she says, I hear some shots in my house. Could you at least have, not knowing that these police went to the wrong house and shot her dad, her 52-year-old dad dead, because he didn't hear them announce that it was a police at the door, not some bandito trying to break in the house. And he's trying to protect his daughter, his household,
Man.
and not knowing.
Man, wow.
This fake news, when they try to, because the narrative now is, let's get rid of everybody's gun.
Yeah.
Now, if we go back, way back in history, when they took away Black people's guns and the Klan went through the Black neighborhoods and terrorized these unarmed Black people, that didn't work out too well, right? Then we got the NRA and said, let's stand up for our constitutional Second Amendment rights, and everybody can bear arms, right?
Yeah.
So now the communists that have taken over the Democratic Party, the radicals, want us to be gun-free. And look how that's working for, Australia, when they locked down everybody and only the police had weapons. And then Venezuela, they took away their guns. And so only the army had the guns. Look how that's working for Venezuela.
Yeah.
And these guys are kind of guide us into the same kind of crazy, unadvised utopia.
A friend of mine was asking me the other day, well, you're a blind guy. Why do you even care? What is this to you if they take away everybody's right to bear arms, their Second Amendment right?
Mm-hmm.
And, that made me think a lot. I mean, Johnny, by golly, I'll never pick up I'll never have a Second Amendment situation within my house because obviously, well, number one, I'm getting ready to go homeless. But number two, I'm also blind. So, I don't see myself picking up a weapon, but.
And Stevie Wonder, you told me this.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder went to Congress and he said, well, blind people don't need guns, so let's make it illegal for blind people to have guns.
It's an interesting point because it's not something I would never dare to take away the rights of my fellow human being. Just because I'll never pick one up doesn't mean that those that are qualified and trained and able shouldn't be able to pick them up. There was a bounty hunter a number of years ago that had a visual impairment. I followed him for a little while, and they were really concerned as to whether they had to give him a concealed carry permit. He ended up getting it years ago. Gosh, I don't know what happened to this bounty hunter, but for quite some time he was able to conduct his business, still carry his work, that kind of thing. And if you have the training and the ability and the want to help to protect, well, I say you should be able to have that.
Or I hear it's a show on the Freedom Station. It's a Jesse show. They're selling these things that it's like either a bow and arrow or it's a gun. It's a gun that shoots out pepper. And this thing will not only sting you very bad, but it will blind you for a while. And so that's a non-lethal way of taking care of these banditos who think that they can come and snatch your purse or, take your car or whatever. You can, give them a hurting that they won't forget. So that's another option, which most cops, don't have. They have the stun gun and all this other stuff, but when they come into a door and they know that somebody else behind that door, or they've been told somebody else behind that door has a gun, they come blazing with their guns too, because you don't take a knife to a gunfight.
That's right.
Kind of stuff. So, and then if you guys get a chance to see, the guys went to New York, Queens to New York, and had that conversation with the victims of crime that the left has, with Bragg and his banditos have brought felonies down to misdemeanors, and there's 328 people that are committing most of the shoplifting crimes, and they have been arrested, not one time, not 100 times, not 300 times, but they've been arrested 6,000 times and released again to go back out. And they know who these people are, is 328 people. They know exactly who these people are. So with these liberal blue states, and then they try to say, oh, look at the red states, look at the red states. No, let's look at what you're doing. And this one black lady, she says, that's why I left the Democrat plantation, because of you guys weren't listening to us. And now here, these Republicans have come down there and they're listening to us. You could have did this. We voted for you. You could have did this. And listen to that. And then YouTube tried to sabotage it by lowering the sound so you could barely hear them. So left-wing YouTube was doing a little bit of sabotaging themselves and bringing across that, because the left radical Democrats, they don't want you to be informed, and they'll try anyway. Oh, well, we didn't know that the volume was low. Yeah, right. And I don't know what Facebook did to sabotage it, but it was on Rumble, it was on other free speech platforms, so we could hear what's going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, always take what the news says, the fake news says, with a grain of salt, because they'll keep lying to you and keep lying to you, and then they'll open up the door and say, "Oh, this little nuance." Yeah, we just forgot to leave it out 4 times, but the 5th time we'll say, "Oh, he had a gun and he was lifting it up because he didn't hear that it was the police." And the police, and there's another story about this guy, which, okay, people, unless you're guilty, if the police stop you at the traffic light, don't try to send them on a chase, and then don't start shooting at them if this really happened. So this guy got out of his car while it was still running, left his gun in there, started running, and they say that it looked like he was going to pull out a gun, but he left his gun in the car, and they put about 82 bullets in this guy. Right? Wow. Right. So my suggestion, parents, especially you minority parents, unless your kids are criminals and they're running for a reason, not say, just calm down, turn off the ignition, put your hands in full sight, and unless the police say to reach around and get your wallet, don't give them any reason to be nervous over you.
That's right, folks.
If the story is true, like I said, the fake news, they give you and they tell you a story. If it fits their narration, they'll tell you the full story. But if it doesn't fit their narration, they tell you parts and pieces. And like the kids that the guys shot into the birthday party, and the birthday girl brother was died because he covered her up. That doesn't fit their narration. So that's going to be out of the news cycle very soon, because it's not a white supremacist, or it's not something that fits into the fake news journalism narratives, which are lifting water for the radical left. So it's not fitting into the narration. So that's going to be out of the news cycle about this drive-by shooting at this birthday party. So, I know that was a long one, but it was like, I just had to put that out there.
I'm glad that you did, Johnny, because the bottom line here is this: treat people with respect, treat people the way you want to be treated. This is a fallen world that we live in, but there is hope. Lord Jesus Christ is that hope. And 1 Corinthians chapter 15 is a good way to get your feet wet, so to speak, when it comes to, boy, what is this salvation message? What is the gospel of what is this gospel of Jesus Christ that people are talking about? Because, for thousands of years, maybe it's gotten a bad rap. He doesn't want a set of rules and ordinances and things to make us to follow. He just wants a relationship. Now, certainly there are certain things that we do follow as Christians, and the world expects us to be and to continue to be bound by him, and we will, because we are followers of Christ, and we can't help but be made the way that we're made. So we're going to be against violence. We're going to be against tyranny, but we're going to be against standing up to the, what do you call? We're going to stand up when it comes to anything that deals with an attack on our God, our country, or our people. And we're just going to pray, and that's one of the biggest weapons we've got is prayer.
Right. And we're always there for you guys. And if you, need some beer or something like that, hey, we're always there for you. We have a meeting at 45 after, so we're going to have to wrap this up. Tomorrow, we're going to do karaoke mob show, the blind style. And we're going to invite some of you if you want to come in and do, but you're going to have to let us know what the song is. And if it's a rap song, you're going to have to cut out all the cuss words because we want this to be a family friendly. But we can't hear into the music. So you can put the earphone in your ear and you can do it a cappella, or if you have a guitar, if you play an instrument, you can do that, but you can't play like a karaoke track or something like that. And it's going to be a cappella mob karaoke day tomorrow. And we're going to have some fun with it. Bring your air guitars with you. I don't want to bring my air guitar with me. And we're just going to have some fun. And then next week, it's going to be all repeats. I'm already lining them up. So Alan can take some time off and, get some R&R, as I will be taking some time off to get some R&R, just kicking it. So join us tomorrow for our karaoke mob show. And what can I say? It's gonna be fun.
We're gonna have fun, folks. God bless everybody.
Yes, definitely. Or something like that.
Something like that, anyway.